Rise and shine, Ravens flock. Welcome back to another episode of Mock Draft Monday. I'm going to keep that rise and shine. I love it because I'm releasing these every Monday morning from now until the end of April when the draft happens. Look to two guys watching football to start off your Monday, and let's start it off with a mock draft. Thank you guys so much for support on the first episode. A lot of fun, a lot of good feedback. A lot of you guys mentioning, go watch this guy, go watch that guy. Some good criticisms around the draft. That's what we're here for. I'm looking forward to doing this every week. So let's get right into it. We're week 2, episode 2. Just as kind of a recap from last week, I'll drop the link down below if you guys missed it. But essentially, we started Charles Cross, Travis Jones, Arnold Ebiketie as kind of the 1-2-3 start. So let's see what happens this week. Same situation. Nothing's really there's been no trades. The board's just kind of set the way it is. Let's take a look and see how she falls. We might as well let her run. So let's take a look and see what happens. So before us, same as last week, Malik Willis to the Browns. That's something that keeps happening in the Draft Network mock draft. So I always find that something just to see them move on from Baker Mayfield. It makes me laugh. So top 4 offensive tackles go off. You got Sauce Gardner off. Top 3 edge guys, or the consensus top 3 edge guys are gone. Jordan Davis gone. Burks gone. So that leaves us with this board. This seems to be kind of the standard fall of the board. Trevor Penning going 7th would kind of surprise me, but then again, tackles premium position, and the Giants kind of double up there with their second, so they end up with Aiden Hutchinson, Trevor Penning as the 1-2 punch. Would be shocked to see that happen, but crazier things have happened, and we love to see the board fall in different ways. That's why we're doing this. So that leaves the Ravens with Ojabo, Booth, Linderbaum, Green, Walker. As a context note, I know some of you are high on Trevon Walker. I think the Ravens will be higher on him than I am, but not a big fan of him at pick 14. For me, this really comes down to Ojabo versus Booth. Do you want to get kind of the edge rusher who's raw but has phenomenal upside? I did a film room on him this week. Do you want to get Andrew Booth, kind of, versatile corner, aggressive guy, he chased down so many screens, approaches the line of scrimmage like shot out of a cannon. I think the Ravens would really like his play style. This is kind of the, do you invest in the secondary? Do you invest in the pass rush? What kind of concerns me about Ojabo is, I think he is a pass rush specialist early in his career. He's very raw, but his tools are insane, like insane. Booth's going to be kind of a more interesting guy. I think he's got a little bit of versatility to him to go inside, outside. But I'm going to start with David Ojabo. I get it. People are going to be upset that he's not going to be a 3-down player, but 11 sacks, 5 forced fumbles. He's looking for the ball. There's definitely some things he needs to do. He needs to develop a long arm that can allow some inside counters. No doubt about that. I think he can get there. He's talked so much about watching guys like John Oosh and Kwity Paye. He's a student of the game. It was actually Odafe Owe that got him into football. Both of them Nigerian guys. I think that's why I saw him as an inspiration. So if you end up with Ojabo opposite Owe in pass rushing situations 2 years from now, I think you're really happy. I think you're going to gamble on that upside at 14. So the Ravens go David Ojabo to add to their pass rush arsenal off the edge. Let me know what you guys think. It's kind of a tough one there. Let's see, because now, Falale just went to the Bucks, which would be kind of surprising. But anyway, we're into the second round, and tackles getting thin real quick. And I think that's kind of the concern here as the Ravens look at their picks. It's just like, is Bernard Raymond going to make it to 45? It looks like he is. So you guys saw me talk about this on the timeline. So my approach to the draft is I think you have to go BPA in round 1. I don't think there's a way around that. The situation that we were just in was to reach at offensive line just to say we addressed offensive line. I'm not a big fan in that. It would have been Kenyon Green. And so you're getting a guy that you're probably going to put at right tackle in the Ravens situation, but he's best suited as a guard, and you're not necessarily using him in his best position to succeed. I think he can play right tackle in the NFL. I think, especially in the Ravens scheme where he's going to be asked to do a lot of gap blocking, I think it'll be a good fit. But I just, it's so tough to do that reach in the first round. Now, this situation's interesting because I love Perion Winfrey. Salyer's really interesting. Bernard Raymond's interesting. I'm a little bit more down on Raymond than most people, especially, he's 25 years old. Just not, it's kind of the Hayden Hurst situation. He's kind of maxed out physically. How much better he's going to get is how much better of a football player that he can get rather than physically growing. I would have liked to see him dominate guys physically a little bit more. Travis Jones is there, so I would love to be able to address the interior defensive line here, but then Bernard Raymond's there. So the alternative is we wait till round 3 to address the tackle situation. And that's what I'm going to do. And I know some of you are going to be upset about this. Drop your comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to address the defensive line with Perion Winfrey. So last week I went Travis Jones. This week I'm going to go Winfrey. So why am I doing this? This is what I love about these videos. I get to explain it. Interior defensive line drops off really quick. We will not be getting kind of a top level defensive lineman when our next pick comes around. It's not a deep class in that regard. So we get a guy like Winfrey who has that upside. He's got that burst, fits really well in that 4-man line that I think Mike Macdonald's going to utilize here. And, like I said, I'm just not high on Bernard Raymond. A 25-year-old going to the Senior Bowl and not physically dominating guys, that doesn't really sit right with me, especially what he's going to be asked to do in the Ravens scheme. So I'm going to go Perion Winfrey out of the University of Oklahoma. 3-down player, good pass rusher, fits really well beside Matabike. Really interesting cat. Now we are in a position where we're kind of going, oh crap, we need to tackle and we need to tackle bad. But I've kind of done it this way a few times, and I actually kind of like the outcomes I get. And most of that is because the guy that I pick at 76 is a guy that I'm super high on. And so you just saw Abe Lucas and Tyler Smith go. I'm going to go with Rasheed Walker at Penn State. I actually caught him while I was watching Ojabo. Was really impressed with his pass sets. Really good at finding a set point. Really good use of his length. I think he had some negative reps at Penn State, and I think that's why he's going to be in this range. But it's all consistency. He has the skill set. He'd fit really well at right tackle in the Ravens scheme. But what he's going to bring you is that kind of starting right tackle that can also flex and play left tackle if you need him. So in this situation, we'll be getting Rasheed Walker, who can come in and start at right tackle. He fits the skill set really well. Powerful run blocker, good enough pass protector, actually a really solid pass protector, especially against, he finds a set point, uses length extremely well, something I really want to see. So we're going to go Rasheed Walker, and then we'll have to double up and grab another tackle at a later point. But I like this outcome, actually. I think it really does put the Ravens in a situation with their first 3 picks where they've kind of addressed they've addressed the trenches just in a different way than we saw them do last week. But let me know what you guys think. Is that too late to be addressing offensive tackle? Are you guys worried about, Stanley not being able to get healthy and now we don't have a left tackle? Let me know what you guys think. Here we are at pick 99. Last week I took Dulpich. You guys talked a lot about Chanel, Dolman, some other interesting guys. And I hear you. I really like the player, but let's see what's on the board here. We still need a corner. We actually need a corner real bad. We pick again in about 9 picks, which is great. I love this kind of slate of players. I think with this one, I'm going to go with. Part of me wants to take Leo Chanel, but I think if I take Leo Chanel, I'm giving up on Malik Harrison, and that bugs me just because I was so high on him. I'm actually going to go with JoJo Doman. So couple things about Doman. Kind of ironic after what I just said about Bernard Raymond, but Doman's an older guy. I think he's 24, or he'll be 24 or 23, sorry. 23, 24 in his rookie year. He's going to be more of, it's kind of funny. You talk so much about guys that come out at the linebacker position. Dolman's a converted safety. And he's kind of the opposite of a two-down linebacker, where he's going to be kind of your coverage linebacker specialist. So where I see him being used is he can play coverage snaps in the nickel. He can help out kind of your coverage issues with your linebackers. If Queen doesn't get better in that regard, at least you have a skill set that can come in and do it. And he's also going to obviously help you in the dime. He can play that dime linebacker, dime safety, kind of the Anthony Levine role from a few years ago, not so much in his more recent years. So that's what I really like about this. We saw the Ravens pick up Jaron Curse for like a brief period. And I thought he'd kind of be in this role. It's that linebacker safety role. So, 99, we're going with a little bit of a specialist, but I think it really works out in their favor because he offers that skill set that you're struggling with coverage linebackers. So the Ravens take J.J. Dolman out of the University of Nebraska, coverage linebacker, dime safety, whatever the heck you want to call him. He's going to come in. He's going to play a really specific role for you, and he's really going to help out your pass defense, especially in the middle of the field. So we'd like to hear that. Now the Ravens, a couple of guys that went right before that, I really like Volson. I really like Stuber, versatile guys. But what I'm going to look at is corner here. And so we also lost, Kobe Bryant went, guy I'm really high on. I'm actually going to go with Josh Jobe here out of Alabama, a guy that I'm really, really high on, more so than a lot of other people. The thing I like is he's used to playing in that cover one defense in Alabama. I think he'd fit really well in their scheme. He'd give you that developmental outside guy. If the Ravens do keep Tavon Young, he's going to be able. He's basically gonna. It's kind of funny. He basically replaces Anthony Averett, who's probably going to get paid in free agency. Another corner out of Alabama, similar skill set. I don't think he's quite as athletic as Averett was, but I kind of like the pick there. So we're going to go Josh Jobe, address our cornerback situation. I think we're going to have to double dip before the end of the fourth round here. That brings us up to the next pick. I still got my boy Greg Dulcich there. Guy that I'm still very high on. Some other guys, Jesse Luketa, Troy Anderson. They really need to switch. I think Luketa is going to be an edge player. I'm actually going to go with Luketa here because I'm that high on him that I'm probably going to pick him a lot. So we got Ojabo, who's going to come in and be that kind of pass rush specialist early in his career. Now we're going to get Jesse Luketa, who's a little bit more on the opposite end. He's going to be more in that Pernell McPhee role. So we're really addressing our edge group to, it's kind of like you see McPhee go out the door with Jalen Ferguson, where I don't expect either of them to be back, and you replace him with Ojabo and Luketa. Luketa is going to come in. He's going to be an edge setter. He's going to be a physical. He can play, hand in the dirt. He can play stand up. I think he can slide inside. He basically can come in and do what McPhee's been doing for you for the last couple of years. Physical player, welcomes contact. You love to see it out of him. So we're going to go Jesse Luketa there. Keep the ball rolling. That brings us down to pick 126. And let's check out who's kicking around. Dulcich finally went. Would have taken him if he fell here. Nick Cross is sitting there. He's a guy I take a lot. There's quite a few guys that I want as developmental safeties. I think the Ravens have some interesting guys, but what I'm really looking for is that kind of rangy safety. So I think I'm gonna go with Nick Cross here. Again, a guy that I pick a lot. I just really like the player. Obviously, the connection with being at the University of Maryland. I know Ravens fans are going to be high on him, but it's not just that for me. I really like the player. And then, so this brings up an interesting situation because I really like Justin Schaffer. He's a really, really solid player. I like John Ridgeway. We have 2 picks here. So kind of what John Ridgeway could come in and do for you is be that nose tackle replacement. So I know a lot of you have talked about stop investing so highly in run stoppers. And so I think going Ojabo Winfrey really invests in our pass rush. But you still do need a run stopping nose tackle at the end of the day. Brandon Williams unlikely to be back. They have Jelly, they have Mac. Jelly might need to be resigned, actually. I might have to double check that. But I'm thinking John Ridgeway here, who comes in, provides you a ton of upside as a nose tackle. He's just, you're getting him in the 4th round, so you're not taking that premium pick and spending it on a nose tackle, but he can come in and be very efficient doing that eating 2 blocks, sitting in the middle of your defense. I think when he transferred from, can't think of where he transferred from, but he was in his first year at Arkansas this year. They played a ton of 3 down lineman formation, so it actually kind of hurt the way he kind of looked, just because he was getting double teamed quite literally every single play because he didn't have that other defensive tackle there. But it helped you kind of see what he could do against double teams. Very, very solid. He's got to work on his pad level. That's where he struggles. I think he's 6'5". But I think he can get there because he shows it at times. It's just doing it consistently. So Ravens are going to take John Ridgeway, get that kind of nose tackle there. And then this leaves us where I'd like to do the double dip at offensive line. See you sitting there. Like I said, I like Schaefer. It's just tough to go with another guard. I think they need to go with a tackle. We lost a lot of solid tackles here. Max Mitchell at Louis and Lafayette, Derek Rosenthal, Kellen Deesh. So I'm going to go with, this might seem like a reach, but I'm going to go with Luke Godecki. And so the reason I like him, he played right tackle at Central Michigan opposite Bernard Raymond. I think he can play right tackle. I think he's a better guard. But what he's going to bring you is that kind of inside-outside versatility. I think he fits really well in the Ravens scheme, and he kind of adds to their depth at the offensive tackle and offensive guard picture. What I really wanted out of this second pick is inside-outside versatility, and that's exactly what you're getting with Godecki. Yes, I see he's ranked 233rd, but I think he's going to go much higher than that. He's a pretty solid player. So the Ravens go with their other offensive lineman there, and then I think we still keep our pick in the 6th round, where we're probably going to be looking for another corner. So while it rolls, because we got a big wait here. So that's what the draft's looking like. Ojabo, Winfrey, Walker, Doman, Jobe, Lucetta, Cross, Ridgeway, Godecki. Definitely a lot different than last week, but interesting nonetheless. So I'm really interested to hear your guys' feedback, or where you think I kind of made a mistake. I have a feeling some of you are going to probably say not going Raymond over Winfrey. That might be the number one. I know Ojabo is polarizing, so I expect there to be some discussion around that, but I'm really looking forward to hearing it from you guys. And so at this pick, it's kind of tough because I want another corner. I think the Ravens need to take another corner, specifically someone that can be some depth in the slot. But there's also some other interesting guys. You got Pierre Strong, running back of South Dakota State, really interesting skill set. Cole Turner, blocking tight end out of Nevada. Reggie Robertson's super interesting. I think a lot of people, especially Ravens fans, will be interested in him. Jeffrey Gunter's there. We've kind of already addressed edge at this point. Marquise Bell's a guy I really like. So with all that said, I think we're going to probably rock with Isaac Taylor Stewart's kind of interesting too. Yeah, this is a tough one. I'm going to go with Pierre Strong. Running back's an interesting one this year. I think getting they're going to load up on UDFAs if they don't draft one. But I think getting a guy with a higher skill set in the draft would really help them. So the Ravens rounded out with Pierre Strong there. Bunch of defensive linemen fly off the board afterwards. So that's what we're looking at with the Ravens draft here. So week 2, different approach. Definitely the biggest departure is waiting on offensive tackle when we waited for Rasheed Walker at 76. Some of that's kind of personal preference because I'm so high on Walker. I have him rated over he's my offensive tackle 7 over Petit Frere. I love the player. I really like his skill set. So that's why it made sense to me to do that. Really invested in the trenches again, though. Let me know what you guys think. I'm looking forward to it. Should I have traded up? Should I have traded down from Ojabo? That was kind of something I was thinking about when it came up. Do I trade down and try and grab someone a little bit later? Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Fun draft. Looking forward to doing this. I think Adam Bonacorsi will be joining me next week. We'll be doing this together. Have a little bit of a debate with it. So that's all I have for you guys today. Have a great Monday. Be good to yourselves. Be good.